If you want to be able to communicate and grow your career, pay close attention to this quick thing that I'm going to share with you that will allow you to avoid burnout and advance your career in half the time. Stay tuned. All right, so I got you all excited with the series. We're going to be talking about the way you can develop your communication skills to differentiate yourself, advance your career, get that promotion, crush the interview at that new role that you're looking to go to at another company. And the first step is establishment of boundaries, either if you're new in a role or if you're in an existing role. What do I mean by that? So boundaries are essentially the rules of engagement that you establish, the rules that you establish with other people and yourself. And most people make the mistake of not establishing boundaries, and this happens a lot in people's personal lives. I've been there. And the way you could tell if you've never established your boundaries and they're being violated is if you're starting to feel resentful of someone. In the work environment, this normally manifests as feeling resentful of a manager for asking them to do things outside of normal work hours. I'm not here to tell you what your boundaries should be, but I'm here to tell you should establish boundaries.
Hey guys, so just wanted to draw out a visual for you when it comes to boundaries. So most people live like this, okay? This is you in the middle, and this perforated box is what is supposed to be your boundary. And this is indicative of someone who has boundaries, because we all do, but hasn't voiced them to someone else. And typically what happens, especially in the corporate workplace, very often in personal lives, is this other person hasn't felt the barrier because you haven't established it with them yet. And so they will go in and they will cross what your boundaries are, not knowing that they've done that. And what this does to you is it makes you angry, okay? You got the eyebrows down, the grumbly face. You're not happy, okay? But what you got to realize is you never established those boundaries to begin with. So here's what you need to do, okay? You need to train people to understand what your boundaries are, okay? So we can keep you happy. And the way we do that is by establishing them, okay? So we solidify what the limits are, what the rules of engagement, what the line in the sand is, so to speak, for what's acceptable in the way other people deal with you. And this is what happens, okay? You stay happy because other people, when they know your boundaries, they will run up to them and they will stop. And then both of you can be happy. So it's important to really be able to set those boundaries easily and in a way that's comfortable for you, so that you're not having your boundaries violated. You could be your optimal self, positioning yourself better for a promotion or whatever else it is you're trying to do. So that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed this visualization, and back to the video.
You might think that this would position you as like a problem employee, but it actually does the opposite. It develops a lot of respect, because when you establish boundaries, it shows that you have inherent value, okay? Because if you didn't have any boundaries, then that shows that there's a lack of respect in yourself. So you got to establish boundaries. What's an acceptable workload for you to do? And there's ways of communicating this to where it doesn't sound like you're a slacker, but you really got to determine that, because the biggest problem that I see with people who are frustrated that they're not advancing their careers is that they try to be everything for everyone. And what do I mean by that? That means not saying no to anything anyone asks them to do. And the problem with that is people end up getting stretched thin and they have nothing left for themselves. I have a quote that I say, I'm not sure if I came up with it, but it's, if you try to be everything for everyone, you'll have nothing left for you. And if you're burnt out, you're not going to be much use for getting that new role. You're not going to be able to show up as your best self. Now, the way of establishing boundaries is usually in the form of training others what's okay with you and what's not. And it's a gradual process. And so, it starts with saying no. When people start handing you things that are kind of outside of the scope of your role that you legitimately can't handle. If you can handle and you want to do it, do it. But if you can't and you don't, and it's not going to help you get to where you want to go, you got to learn how to say no. And this isn't going to frustrate people. Maybe it will in the moment, but long term, they're going to earn a tremendous amount of respect for you. And those exact people that might get initially frustrated when you say no probably need this advice too, right? They're probably not establishing boundaries themselves. So go ahead, give that a try, and we'll be sending more content your way on how to differentiate yourself and get that promotion. Hope you're liking the content as much as I'm creating it. Hit that red subscribe button. Talk to you guys soon.